How's it going, everyone? Your boy Corey, aka Crasher, here with a new video, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again to discuss Pokemon Go, and more specifically, Niantic. Now, we're going to be diving into a few things here in this video, but the main message in this video is that Pokemon Go needs a change of direction, and I mean that pronto. Let's get into this. So we're going to be diving into an article on Dexerto that is titled, Niantic's own earnings prove Pokemon Go needs to change direction. Pokemon Go's player base has loudly expressed its concerns about the direction the mobile powerhouse has been headed over the past year, and Niantic's own earnings could prove it's headed the wrong way. Since its massive launch in 2016, Niantic's breakout hit Pokemon Go has amassed over $6 billion in revenue worldwide. Of course, the yearly landmark earnings are inevitable when allowing mobile phone users to have the world's #1 grossing media franchise at their fingertips. However, Niantic has fought an uphill battle since the game's launch, with a peak active player base in 2016 of 232 million users. Pokemon Go would lose more than 1 million players the following year, double its players in 2018, and then slowly decline to a near all-time low. Despite earning $1 billion in both 2020 and 2021, players have been outspoken about the controversial changes made in 2021 and 2022, and the decline in players as well as in earnings proves these gripes actually have a negative impact on the Pokemon Go. Now, it's actually really interesting that in the 6 years that Pokemon Go has been a thing, where they have amassed over $6 billion in revenue worldwide, they earned $1 billion in both 2020 and 2021, and those were during the pandemic times. And during those times, Niantic actually made some really good quality of life changes to help accommodate players because of the pandemic. But because of the fact that they were actually good for the player base, well, Niantic knows how to take gold and turn it into shit, as they took away a lot of those positive changes, trying to revert things back to the way they were before the pandemic. And while I can understand that they want to make the game what it once was, they go about things in a completely wrong way, as I have discussed countlessly in previous videos, so I'm not going to go ahead and rehash on all of that. Said videos can be found on my channel. With that being said, let's continue. Pokemon Go's declining player base. Before discussing Pokemon Go's financials, we need to look more at the game's active users. Since reaching a monthly average of 131 active users in 2018, this number has steadily declined to 71 million in 2021. This is the second lowest year since 65 million in 2017. During the first 6 months of 2022, Pokemon Go averaged 80.1 million monthly players. However, the game has lost 2.4 million players, a loss of nearly 3% over the last 30 days. This is the largest loss of players in a single month since January 2021. With that being said, Pokemon Go's player base fluctuates quite frequently, seeing a massive dip in players one month and a steady crawl upward over the next few. In December of 2021, Statista conducted a study asking gamers if they had ever played Pokemon Go and if they were currently active. The control group consisted of players 18 years and older. 9% said they had never played Pokemon Go, while 41% claimed they were still active. That left 51% who stated they no longer played Pokemon Go. Of Pokemon Go's target demographic, 18 to 34 years old, a staggering 70% responded saying they had stopped playing. So, my only response to this section thus far is, holy shit, the numbers are definitely not looking good for Niantic's Pokemon Go. Yikes. That is a huge yikes for me, dog. Pokemon Go's declining annual earnings. From 2020 to 2022, Sensor Tower had put out a report each year announcing a landmark achievement for Pokemon Go. In 2020, Pokemon Go surpassed $4 billion in lifetime earnings and was the first time the app had earned over $1 billion in a single year. And despite 2021 being the best start to a year in Pokemon Go's lifetime, players spent less on the game than they did in 2020. Niantic still managed to earn $1.21 billion from Pokemon in 2021, which was $20 million less than the prior year. In June 2022, following massive events like GoFest and Johto Tour, Pokemon Go surpassed $6 billion in lifetime revenue in just under 6 years. But this also revealed that Pokemon Go had generated 45% less revenue in Q1 of 2022 than in 2021, despite having 21% more active players. This shows that the number of active players doesn't translate to revenue generated, and with Niantic recently teasing the idea of in-game advertisements, this could further prove that Pokemon Go is losing its lucrative power. And I wouldn't just say losing its lucrative power, but especially losing its appeal for a good majority of players that used to play this game that doesn't play it anymore. And I have seen a lot of players come and go in the 6 years that Pokemon Go has existed. And it's honestly a damn shame because at its core, it is a very fun game, but Niantic got greedy and turned something that was once golden into what is progressively becoming a bigger and bigger pile of shit. And it's a damn shame too, and it hurts saying that. As someone that loves Pokemon Go, it absolutely hurts seeing Pokemon Go in this state. But you can thank Niantic for that. Why Pokemon Go isn't as lucrative. Despite having the lowest number of players in years, 2020 and the first half of 2021 generated revenue the likes of which Pokemon Go hadn't seen prior. Even with the all-time high of 232 million players in 2016, the game earned less than half of what it did in 2020. The ideology of more players equals more money doesn't seem to translate in Pokemon Go, and it's likely because players need incentives to spend money. However, Pokemon Go players haven't been happy with the direction Niantic has been headed for a while now, resulting in less players spending. In 2020, at the peak of the global health crisis, Niantic made key changes that allowed players to enjoy the game from their homes. But more importantly, these changes incentivized players to purchase items from the in-game shop. Remote raid passes, $1 a pop, allowed players to join group battles from across the world. Incense was changed so a new Pokemon appeared every minute, keeping players engaged. You couldn't go out and explore, but players were more than willing to spend money to play where they were at. And you know something? That actually kind of goes back to what I said earlier about the good quality of life changes that Niantic made in the game in response to COVID-19. Now, the thing is, again, I understand that Niantic, wants to get back to the regular normal Pokemon Go pre-COVID-19. I get all of that, okay? This era fucking sucks. But you also have to understand that these changes were not just made out of trying to battle against COVID-19. These changes actually turned into genuinely good quality of life changes that were very, very well received among many players. And the fact that they're being stripped back just honestly shows so far that Niantic has completely lost touch with their player base, and it's also very much affecting Pokemon Go as a whole. And not to mention as well, those changes allowed for players that were disadvantaged, i.e. if they were rural or remote players, or players with disabilities that wanted to play Pokemon Go. These changes actually allowed for them to be able to play the game and have fun with it. But because these changes, the majority of them anyway, are stripped away or very much nerfed down, you're taking away a lot of things from players that would genuinely invest in the game if Niantic knew how to actually communicate with their player base, which for 6 years, ladies and gentlemen, they have demonstrated consistently that they do not have the ability of good communication. These changes also meant that rural players could enjoy Pokemon Go easier than they could before the global health crisis. GoFest 2020 was also the first year the city-exclusive event went global, and players were more than willing to pay $15 for a ticket with all of the active bonuses. This was followed by Kanto Tour at the start of 2021, arguably one of the greatest events in its history. With 151 possible shiny Pokemon to collect, players, again, didn't hesitate to spend $12 on a ticket. But over the last year, Niantic has started to revert the changes made in light of the worldwide crisis. They have stated they want Pokemon Go to get back to what it once was, to get players out and in person again. Again, like I said previously, I understand the sentiment that they want Pokemon Go to be what it once was pre-pandemic, but they are going about it in such a terrible way, and it shows, bar none. This is a confusing sentiment. Pokemon Go was never as successful as it was in 2020 to 2021, both financially and in the public eye. Pokemon Go peaked in the year of the global health crisis. Developers often have to choose between making a game they want to make or game players want to play. And the reason Niantic seems hell-bent on reverting to 2019 Pokemon Go is in their mission statement. Our mission is to use emerging AR technology to spark creative and engaging journeys in the real world. We build products that inspire outdoor exploration, exercise, and meaningful social interactions. These goals are great on paper, but Pokemon Go has outgrown them. If Niantic were handling its own IP, this conversation would look different, but they're providing a platform for one of the most successful franchises in the world. It's time for Niantic to realize they're changing the wrong features and heading in the wrong direction. The previous changes granted accessibility that was needed regardless of the world health crisis. They encourage play, incentivize purchases, and would further expand the enjoyment of playing together in person. Freaking men to that. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a very detailed article and a very detailed analysis of how Pokemon Go has essentially risen and fallen, and it is honestly a damn shame that we're here in 2022 with Pokemon Go in the state that it is, despite how much the game has quote-unquote earned. Yeah, they've earned a lot of money, but at the expense of what? Losing players. I really don't think losing players is worth making a few extra dollars there, Niantic. And on the note of trying to make a few extra dollars from your players, i.e. ripping them off, well, let's take a look at this fucking bag of tricks. We ourselves, this Twitter user, tweeting out, "First you nerf incense because you want us to go out, but at the same time you remove incubators and put remote passes into the adventure box and take out all premium items from the Ultra Box? All other boxes are a scam as well. What the hell are you doing at Pokemon Go app?" And you're not going to believe what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the images. Let's open the first sucker up. Yeah, for 550 coins, you get 5-star pieces, 10 revives, 3 remote raid passes, and 5 lucky eggs. And in the second screenshot, for 280 coins, you get 20 Ultra Balls, 20 Raspberries, 20 Great Balls, 20 Pineapple Berries. Things that you can easily spin for in stops. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, just honestly shows that they are reeking of desperation. And for what? I thought that they were a multi-billion-dollar company because of Pokemon Go, you know? That just doesn't make any sense. And this tweet right here especially stands out to me. Now, I'm not entirely sure how accurate this is, but let's go under the assumption that what is said here is 100%. Yeah, and we paid for additional bonuses in Berlin, and we cannot do them without buying items separately, because the boxes are awful. Now this obviously is in reference to Pokemon Go Fest Berlin that is taking place, and it's honestly really disgusting that these boxes have suddenly changed and they are even more of a ripoff than before. It doesn't surprise me, but it's still damn disgusting. And the fact that these Berlin Go Fest players have to actually pay for the additional bonuses, and they actually can't do them without buying items separately, I mean, honestly, I'm at a loss for words. I am honestly at a loss for words. Like, Niantic, what are you doing? Well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you exactly what Niantic is doing, and what they have been doing. Niantic have announced that they are canceling 4 projects, including Transformers Heavy Metal, as well as cutting 8% of their staff. That right there, honestly, really does not sit well with me. Now, that article will be in the description down below. I don't want to go through it detail by detail, because otherwise, we will be here all night. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, to understand what is going on here, Niantic likes to brag up how they have made all of this money, yet they have not only canceled projects, but they have actually cut their own staff. Like, can you tell me how that adds up? Can you tell me how that makes any sense? If you are making such a big amount of money, you wouldn't really need to cut staff, unless you were either being dishonest about your earnings in the first place, or if there is some extra shady shit going on behind the scenes that you don't want people knowing about. And it kind of makes me wonder if Niantic is really capable of handling their finances, because they seem to have absolutely no problem at all spending their money frivolously, as well as their resources and energy on projects that they have inevitably canceled for whatever reason, as well as anti-cheating measures. Yet when it comes to bigger issues that have been more vocalized in the community, it's like Niantic doesn't even bother putting money where their mouth is towards aspects of the game that actually fucking matter the most. Cheating is not the greatest evil in the game. Not being able to play the game is, on the other hand. And by the by, Niantic, that's why cheating exists. You're welcome. It's also kind of sad as well that the majority of those that have valid complaints against Pokemon Go and the way that it is mismanaged by Niantic, these are people whose voices are not going to be heard very well, and those that have the big voices don't really use them when it comes to things like this, when it comes to battles that actually matter. So, I'm just saying this not to be disrespectful. I'm saying this as a matter of fact. This is something that needs to be more spoken on. This is something that needs to be spread around. So I encourage all of you guys that are viewing this video right here, right now, to spread this video around. A simple retweet of this video is going to go a long way, and I very much appreciate you guys for it. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, the rise and fall of Pokemon Go continues, and again, it's really heartbreaking to say. But, unfortunately, based on the evidence, not just in this video, but evidence in past videos, not just from myself, but from various other content creators and outlets, it's definitely showing. The signs are definitely showing that Pokemon Go has definitely fallen from grace. And that's all thanks to Niantic. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, please comment your thoughts down below. Tell me what you guys think of what it is we discussed here in this video. Tell me if you agree, tell me if you disagree, and also tell me your own experiences in Pokemon Go if you are an active player. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for your time as well in viewing this video. Have yourself a damn good one, people, and I'll see you next time.